Hello everyone, this is Mike Padua and we're back to our latest update, and this is for this early Saturday morning, February 7, 2026 English version, and we are now giving you the final and last update on Tropical Depression Basyang with international name Penha, as this system has rapidly weakened upon crossing Visayas. The system changed course on the last minute. That's how difficult tropical depression is, especially on multi-models, physics-based. Although the Google DeepMind is performing well, the track has so far is near perfect when it comes to the tracking of this depression. So kudos to Google DeepMind. And this is the last one since the system made landfall over Surigao del Norte, Agusan del Norte, and Bohol, southern Cebu, then southern Negros, and it's now over the western coast of Negros Occidental, dissipating into a remnant low. It's still a tropical depression with only winds of 45 kph, but later on today it will dissipate into a remnant low because of cool dry air over the Sulu archipelago, land interaction, and moderate to strong southeasterly vertical wind shear. Okay, so this is brought to you by Typhoon 2000 and Naga College Foundation. And kung gusto niyo ang Tagalog version, just click on the link here. And if you're watching via Facebook, just browse on our page and browse the postings for the latest on the Tagalog version. And this is also brought to you by Aboitiz Power and the local government of Naga City, headed by our Honorable Mayor Leno Robredo and our Honorable Vice Mayor 𝗗𝗶𝗀𝗆𝗺. So let's begin. Here's the latest fast animation. By the way, we don't have GraphSat when we have tropical cyclones due to limited time. We don't have enough due to the presence of tropical cyclones. We don't have enough time to create the GraphSat. That's why during tropical cyclone activity we don't issue GraphSat. Okay, but since the system is now dying, and we will resume a GraphSat in the coming days. Okay, most likely by tomorrow we will start it, or later today. And as you can see now on the latest fast animation from topics CIMSS, okay, tropical cyclone page of the University of Wisconsin. And here's the system. As you can see, from a healthy tropical storm, it rapidly weakened into tropical depression. Right now it's no longer showing a structure of a tropical cyclone. It's just a cloudiness moving towards Bicol Region, southern Luzon, Metro Manila. So this is just remnants. That's why we are experiencing some afternoon rain showers and thunderstorms here in the Bicol Region as well. But it dumped heavy amounts of rainfall of up to 200 or more millimeters across northern Mindanao and Caraga. Iligan City has suffered one of the worst flooding we've seen all over the social media. And one weather station of 𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗋 recorded rain amounts of 115, but there are some gauges that reach 200 plus. So this is really an event that is expected to bring flash floods when we have more than 100 or more than 200 millimeters of rain in just 12 hours, within 12 hours, just like what happened with during the passage of Christine here in Naga. A span of 12 hours, we experienced via our weather station, the rain gauge measured rain amounts in 12 hours, almost 400 millimeters. Just imagine. That's 2 months of rainfall pouring in just 12 hours. That's the reason why we've suffered the worst flooding way back in 2024, October 22. Okay, so it's a once in a lifetime, or there's a return period of 100 years. So let's hope that it won't repeat again. Okay, but let's all be prepared when it comes to this kind of weather system, whether it's weak, strong, or minimal tropical cyclones. Now let's move forward. Here's the zoom in satellite animation during the past 24 hours. As you can see, once covered with very intense rainfall across northern Mindanao here. Okay, the system passed over this area, making landfall here, then it moved here, then right now it's currently here. Okay, and within the next 24 hours, the system is likely to dissipate over this area as a remnant low, and as the arrival of the surge, the northeast monsoon kicks in, likely tomorrow, Sunday or Monday, the system will be eventually moved within the flow of the northeasterly winds. So far, that's the tropical storm or tropical depression Basyang that triggered large amounts of rainfall. Up to, actually, if you're moving within the storm, it's 330 millimeters. Okay, since we are stationary, our land mass stationary, the system is moving, so it will be either 1/4 or 1/2 of that amount. Okay, so here's the let me see. Here's the track from Typhoon 2000. So it has been adjusted more to the north because of the sudden shift, okay, of the track. And currently, as we speak, the system is currently here within the cone of uncertainty, and it's likely to move towards this direction and dissipate. That's why we are now releasing the final update on Basyang. We'll be issuing the final advisory later today. It's already 2 o'clock. I mean 1:30 in the morning. Here's the 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗃𝗃. Same, although it's still on the eastern side of Negros, while ours is on the western side. It's difficult to pinpoint tropical depressions with this disorganized circulation. Okay, you need to have an eagle eye on or experience in monitoring this kind of cyclones. This is the most difficult when it comes to locating it, since you need low level circulation to be seen via imageries, usually visible, but you can use microwave and other tools that can depict the low level circulation center, like QuickScat, okay, or wind data, ASCAT. So we need those to determine where exactly is the center. You can also use Doppler radar, but Doppler radar are only intact where, I mean, the image of the low level center can only be seen if it's a tropical storm or a tropical a typhoon. So far, that's the way how it processes to look into this tropical cyclone. Mostly you see mid-level circulation, not exactly the exact center, and usually it's on the periphery of those intense convection, since tropical cyclones tend to encounter upper level winds or wind shear. Although if it's healthy, the center will be at the middle of that convection. Okay, here's the final track of Japan Meteorological Agency. They are much earlier, 11 hours ago. They weakened it into a depression over over Cebu Sea, and then our multi-models, a multi-track of all agencies are still there, showing the system moving towards Panay, and it's weakening as well. It's only 45 kph. So here's the latest from our website, typhoon2000.ph. We usually put here the location, 11 p.m. over Panay Gulf, 50 kilometers south of Iloilo. That's around 11 p.m. 10.3, 1 to 2.5. Minimum central pressure is 1004. The maximum winds with 3-second wind gusts has gone down to 45 to 55. That's why you see a blue arrow, which shows downward. It's weakening. And the movement west-northwest at 15 kph. This is the past 6 hours movement towards Sulu Sea, 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗋 Archipelago. Sometimes we have here at the bottom, or the towards will replace with landfall in 24 hours, 48 hours, and the place. And we have also included here the cone of uncertainty. We have a place here to the north of the cone of uncertainty, and to the south of the cone of uncertainty is also places that will be that have higher probability if the system goes south or north. So far, that's how we populate this website of ours, typhoon2000.ph. It's been here since 1997. We'll be celebrating 29th year. Okay, it's just like my child already. Although it's just the way it goes, since this is our passion. So here are all the links, warnings from different agencies, tracks from different agencies, including the multimodal. These are the thumbnails of the imagery, our track, and PAGASA storm warning signals or wind signals. Models, we have different links. We have here included is the PAGASA gale warnings, PAGASA storm surge, okay, storm focus, agencies, organizations showing the system, focusing on the system, satellite images, different sources, and we have here the PAGASA rain warnings, the radar data. It's here, satellite loops, and the news support from different agencies or news organization, including the NDRRMC. So that's how it's that's how we populate this. Now let's what else? Let's move now to check on the by the way, let's check first on the RMBB. I'm gonna show you the model diagnostic comparison of all models. So right now it's February 7, so it looks like it's really weakening here, and that's the scenario. It will dissipate here some. It's moving it towards the southwest. And then look at this. The wind shear is really getting stronger for the next 3 days. What else? And so far, that's the analysis on tropical depression Basyang. Now, for the rain forecast for the next 5 days, let me show you another rain system. So this is the remnants of Basyang moving into northern Palawan within the next 24 hours. And then we have here a developing frontal system. And we have here a developing shear line that could affect the eastern sections of Luzon, including eastern Bicol Region. That's why if we move this into Sunday, you can see here a developing wind shear line. So it might affect the eastern sections of Luzon from Cagayan down to Bicol Region. Occasional rains, and then on Monday it looks like it will be more concentrated over the Bicol Region, Catanduanes, Albay, Sorsogon, Pacatido, Camarines Sur, and Camarines Norte. There's some rains penetrating Iriga City and Naga City and the middle of our province this coming Monday. And then on Tuesday because of the new surge of the northeast monsoon, this shear line will be pushed down across Romblon, northern Panay, Masbate, Sorsogon, and parts of Samar provinces. So this is 50 to 100 millimeters of rainfall. And then on the fourth day, Wednesday, February 11, the shear line starts to weaken, but still they're affecting northern and eastern Samar. And then look at that. On Thursday, it will be moving back across Camarines, Partido District of Camarines Sur, Catanduanes, Eastern Albay, and Sorsogon. That will be on Thursday, February 12, and Friday the 13th. The shear line will continue to affect the eastern sections of the Bicol Region and spreading across eastern Samar and eastern Mindanao, but so far here it's more of a easterly wind flow. And then that's already on the 6th day, which is low probability. On Saturday the 14th, we will again be having another effects of the shear line across Bicol Region, extending across northern Quezon. So this is the forecast for Valentine's Day, February 14th, Saturday, but again, the probability of this forecast is below average, okay, or below moderate. So this is around a low probability, highly uncertain yet, okay. So we will keep you updated on that in coming days. And for the wave forecast, it looks like the waves will start to be back to around 1 to 2 meters over the Philippine Sea, suitable for fishing over the Sulu Sea and the inland waters of our country. West Philippine Sea is around the 1.5 meters because of the dissipation of Basyang. But look, there's a blood rose red or carnation color up, moving spreading downwards. That's the surge of the northeast monsoon. So on Sunday it will engulf the Philippine Sea from northern Luzon, and then it will move on Monday downwards. It's like a blood flowing to the south. So look at that. Okay, these are wave heights of 4 to 5 meters. So again, it's gonna be not so good environment for the fishermen if you are planning to have some fishing activities. So the northeast monsoon will again be back together with the shear line next week, and it will persist until, let me move this, it looks like it will persist until Valentine's Day. Again, we will keep you updated on that when we return this coming Monday. What else? So far, that's the latest. And again, we will close the coverage on Tropical Depression Basyang, Penha, and we will be resuming our tropical weather analysis likely on Monday. Again, this is Mike Padua saying good night to all. Take care always. Enjoy your weekend. And thank you so much for watching our channel. God bless to all.